And you can just see on the split screen there, just off to the right, you've got 4 a.m. as well. So
Navi's making a push.
Well, Navi is making a push. Well, this is kind of what I expected a little bit, just because of the fact that they are dead center circle. So they don't really have a whole lot of time to mess around here. If they think they can catch 17 slipping, now is the time to push.
Slipping with a shotgun's going to be hard to do, though. Waiting patiently, about to step around the corner. Does he have it lined up? Get some damage in. Doesn't get the knock just quite yet. The numbers advantage, though. Going to go with Navi, and they just run right on top of it.
Well done. Well played by Navi. And definitely, I mean, you talk about Navi, this is a team that likes to play things really slow in the early game, typically like to play from the outside, but unfortunately for them, they end up right in the dead center, so they have to make a decision, and they made a decision extremely quickly. Well, they got to make a decision. They got to start making things happen pretty quickly here, because you can see just off in the distance, AGG has arrived. At least 2 of them have. 4 a.m. for the meantime has kind of just hung out on that eastern side. They hear this fighting going on, but they're not kind of collecting themselves to go and push this. They're just going to stay where they're at and see if they can maybe sneak a knock.
We're down in that stage where you're just hiding in corners with shotguns. That's never a good thing, but Zhao Wu going to play this one patient, realizing he doesn't have a good pathing to deal with, so maybe he can listen for the footsteps, realizing they're coming through. Door's going to open. Waiting patiently. They read exactly where he's at. That was clean.
Beautiful stuff from Ferris. And that's going to be Zhao Wu going down. And that is another kill picked up for the boys of Navi. Now, 17 do still have 2 left. You see Xiaobei, a little ghost, and Diffix has a pretty good idea of where Xiaobei is. As you can see, a little damage come through on him. But now I think, I mean, you got to be just batting down the hatches at this point if you're 17.
This is getting a bit scarier, as well as we do have the rest of VP starting to make their rotation. And just to the south of the mini-map, they already have one member in Lucarux that's held down that position. So this is starting to become more and more problematic. With the firefighting happening inside of this one, we could see a third-party push.
5 teams now in test track.
Yep.
And if, well, not completely, because it looks like All Gamers Global, they do have a 2-2 split, but the north part of their 2-2 split is getting pushed. So we'll have to keep an eye on there as Little Ghost again gets knocked low, but will stay alive.
Damage control now, that's all they can really do with those shots, though. That's also a signifier. Navi realizing, hey, we didn't take those, so somebody else has eyes on what's going to be going on for our prize that we're going to be after. See now VP, looks like they're moving a bit more into the west. They just know at this point. They have been just sharks all around this position, slowly maneuvering through. You can see how free that they're moving right now. This lets you know that they have a ton of information on what's going to be going on. They're not necessarily peeking around every single corner. They know where their advantage is, and they know where they're wanting to push into. So here comes a stack, getting a bit more careful as they're maneuvering in. Footsteps going to be heard by 17 Gaming.
Fast, man.
Just holding it. Shot's going to be coming out, expecting for the door, going to reveal position, going to step back now. Looks like they might move to the second story. Yep, just go ahead and see if they can play along the stairwell, and that's the Panzerfaust. Could be big if they stack up.
Oh, don't do it, Navi. Don't do it. You got to be expecting it. Good flash, though. He's going to push him off a little bit. That's 2 for Xiaobei with that Panzer. You saw it coming. Now what can they do? Can they get the last kill off of it? It looks like Navi's going to try to rebound a little bit, pull away.
This is going to be hazardous. They want some vengeance back. You can see everybody starting to crawl out. 4 Angry Men getting some vision on all of this. This is just going to be more problematic. Nobody's really want to make the push in. Also, Roth, we talked about them kind of maneuvering along VP just a second ago. He's going to get spotted out. Little Ghost making play around the outside. This one going for Ferris. Doesn't quite manage to get him down, but Xiaobei is going to be able to finish it out. And tides turn as 17 Gaming survive.
Oh, Navi. Navi, they thought they had him pinned. They thought pushing with 3 would do it. It worked so well before, but they just didn't anticipate the Panzerfaust, and that flipped this whole thing on its head. You would think that they can hold on to that pretty safely.
It depends on how we see everything end with test track right now. Also, Bet Boom depends on their rotation, as it looks like they're getting very close to this lineup. Quantum Freak's now going to be looking over into Luna and just picking them apart. Bean's going to find one, Salute on the other one. And you can see Luna's still just trying to figure out where all of these angles are coming in from. And yeah, just a quick push out. But also, Falcons are hearing this. Looks like they're trying to third party it. Human, though, just trying to shut it down as fast as humanly possible.
Oh, man. Luna Galaxy was keeping eyes on test track that entire time. They had AGG. They had all the information, but once that circle popped, they knew they had to try to go for somewhere more towards the center. And unfortunately for them, Kwandong Freaks is absolutely ready and willing to take care of them. And now Team Falcons will turn their attention back over as they are down to 3. Roth gone again.
trying to pick up a bit more, and looks like they've got to be a bit careful with this one. They are stretching for the time being, but yeah, that's what I was worried about. Salut's going to hit the headshot. Flood is got the rock for cover right now, but remember, Rello is pretty far back behind this one. Doesn't have a lot of covering fire that it can provide in. We also have a bit more of a dust-up happening back over in Test Track, as it does look like FaZe is going to bump into VP over there, and that's starting to pop off in the kill feed.
Yeah, FaZe not wanting to stay on the edge of Test Track, rather than going ahead and pushing directly in, but they are paying the price right now. Gustav is flushed out. Fex is knocked. Now it's just down to Jeems and Corexy. Corexy having to stop down to do a little bit of healing, but VP still have all four up, and they've got a good surround on this.
Here's a bit more fun, too. Yeah, FaZe now maneuvering over here. They're going to bump into what's going on with E-Arena and their reposition, so this is going to open up a bit more sightlines. Oh, also we have an emergency pickup. Looks like it could be coming this direction. That's going to be Cerberus making landfall. How are they going to opt into playing this? Where are they looking at? They should spot out the vehicles down below them, realizing that they don't want to go that direction. Instead, they're going to eyes right over to VP. Remember, 4 Angry Men also over here. A not good vision for 4 Angry Men to defend against this until the very end of it, though.
Oh boy, Cerberus, this was not a good call. I'm not sure if they had any better options available. They were pretty much 4 deep in a compound on the southwestern side this whole time and just kind of had eyes on them from E-Arena, so they had no intel about what they were pushing into here, and they just decided to send it. E-Arena got lucky, Cerberus didn't.
Eyes wide right now. Soulzy does manage to at least take down one, and the spins coming out. The distraction spins pay off.
He hit him with the washing machine. I love to see it. Put him on the spin cycle. But they end up getting him. They do lose one, so VP now down to 3, and 4AM is going to see that in the kill feed. They're going to realize what happens, and fortunately, Luka Ruck's immediately turning his attention back over. But now E-Arena having to deal with FaZe somehow. Corrects. It's the day of 1 HP.
But here's the problem. T1 is moving back in behind FaZe and not making a big move just yet. EV also aware of the firefight that's going to be going on. Circle has popped. Does have FaZe inside of it. Doesn't have VP. Doesn't have T1. Doesn't have TSM. Petrichor Road all having to make moves. AGG has shifted over into the west, leaving one of their members back behind, just eyeing what's going on. But let's not forget, 17 is still alive and going to have to make a rotation into where all of this firefight's going on.
Gets the res back up, so Corexy back on his feet. Blues on grenade, not going to find it. Tigger will be flushed out by Ibby. The rest of E-Arena, as you said, just going to go ahead and retreat on back. Meanwhile, Freaks is just kind of pushing through the entire western side of this lobby, and Falcons are going to be the one that go down.
We saw this an extenuation of the firefight that kind of started with them poking at each other. AGG providing some covering fire into this one. You can see FaZe, though, they're in the meat grinder right on the edge of the zone. Multiple teams going to be eyeing this position, and they're already weak. And Freaks just continuing to roam. Yeah, got Valley Tie in pretty good position on the circle, but not being too much of an aggressor. Therefore, it's going to be Freaks who've just been, like you were saying, walking around over there in the west. Petrichor Road getting vision on TSM. They're trying to make their rotation and do manage to get in the circle. But Petrichor Road had eyes on that position as well, and now got damage in. They're just trying to follow it up. Are they going to hop inside the vehicles? Push? What are they going for?
Well, they got to do something. They're outside of the zone right now. The instant knock will open up a little bit of a door, but Purdy Curdy immediately turning his attention back over in that direction. Pero not going to pull all the way in, just find themselves a little bit of a hillside to work with. They are down to about half HP, but you see the kill feed is lighting up, Matrim.
Bet Boom on the other side of TSM. 2 different squads trying to make the approach, but now being distracted. It's going to be a quick pop-off between what's going on. Oh, yeah, TSM, dude. I don't know how you can handle this. So many angles coming out they're trying to defend from, and every single time they just try to find some cover from one of the squads, they just instantly lose it to a new angle from another one.
Yeah, they were hanging out on the south side. Unfortunately for them, they were the first ones to make the move in, and sometimes being the first one is the worst possible idea because that means everybody else that's waiting will just go ahead and try to pull the crash off. Pero has been controlling the southwest, much like Kwandong has been, or Freaks has been controlling the northwest. Now, Freaks took out Falcons, moved back to their previous position. Petrichor Road, meanwhile, takes out 3 out of 4 of TSM, sparking the only one remaining, and BetBoom going to pull off of that as well. Now, Ibby and the rest of VP having to turn their attention over towards T1.
Virtus Pro making the push in. T1 stalling out. Remember, FaZe is going to be directly in front of this. They have one of their members down. T1 had their eyes pushing this direction. Meanwhile, VP manages to exploit terrain. Positionals comes in after. T1, though, not going down without a fight. Getting good vision and good control angles to work from. Now moving up on top of this road, getting some distance away from what's going on with VP down below it.
Bees are the last one up here for Virtus Pro. We'd love, if nothing else, to be able to flush out those 2 kills from T1, but it looks like Bet Boom is going to get an angle and steal those away, so that's points out of the pocket of VP as FaZe Clan is going to get eliminated here in the end.
T1 still just trying to hold on to that angle. EB is going to get spotted, so BetBoom going to take them down. Sparking with a ton of friends around him. They've been dancing right on top of him. Haven't spotted him just yet. You can see helmet and armor in a ton of trouble, so it's going to be very hard for him to survive.
AGG was holding on to the northern side of that test track, and they finally had to leave, and they've spread themselves out. They're taking advantage of a very beaten and bruised E-Arena. But I don't know if they are even aware of Valley Tide just off to the west. Valley Tide playing it real quiet, very split, taking up a lot of space. But they've got 3 up and they've got Circle, and nobody really seems to be aware of them.
We've got 2 big influencing factors right now, and that is going to be BetBoom down to the south, trying to figure out how they navigate in. And then also to the north, we've got AGG. They're eyeing in this E-Arena line. That's where the harassment's coming in from the north. 17 Gaming also going to be closing in. Little Ghost already down off of it. Zhao Bei looks like he doesn't have a clean path to deal with. Sir T is going to be the north of this one, so 2 different teams got angles onto 17 Gaming. This is going to be very hard to rotate. Meanwhile, even if he does manage to make it past this, T1 will have vision, so no surprise that's going to be how that one ends. But that means that the new firefights are going to be between really T1, E-Arena, as well as AGG, and AGG has the numbers advantage in this.
Yep, BetBoom still repositioning, and they know that Petrichor Road is off to their west, just uphill, and they know that they are at full strength, so they're trying to avoid that fight for as long as they can while Petrichor Road just continues to flex out a little bit. Then they should be aware that Sparking is around there hiding somewhere. They just haven't been able to pick him out just yet. Right now, focusing all their attention over towards BetBoom.
Just trying to buy some more placement points. That's all Sparking really wants at this time, but it is Sparking. You know he also wants a kill. That's the way he plays it. AGG, though, it feels like are getting more and more control over here. BetBoom also going to collapse in. I want to know how BetBoom is going to maneuver around. They've got Petrichor Road just over in their west, making it very difficult for them to make those last couple of meters, those last couple of steps into the zone itself. They've got a doozy playing very far over next to Racetrack. He does get spotted out, and he's going to go down. That really forces BetBoom's hand more into this kind of centered position.
Summer just tiptoeing around imminent death here is Sparking, staying alive, keeping TSM in this one. They've got to the top 8. They're in the placement point range. Tycon, though, is going to find Raining. His reign of terror is going to continue.
Walking forward, the weakened T1 does spot out what's going to be moving in with them. It's going to be AGG stepping up. Tycon leading the way right now, trying to crest in, but Sparking comes alive, spots out Summer, looking down to Petrichor Road at roughly the same time. It's going to be BetBoom gets active on one side of this one, trying to get some more damage into it. Sparking just dancing around. One life finally going to go down. TSM is eliminated, but that makes it a lot harder for Petrichor Road to deal with what's going on with BetBoom.
Oh man, Ming left with about 20 HP there. Sparking almost took that one out here. Now, see, Freaks is going to lose Salute on the southern side of that road. They did finally spot out Valley Ties. Valley Ties has finally come awake, and they are getting involved here in the late game. And now, all of a sudden, just like that, we're down to our top 4.
Oh, Freaks, how are you going to hold control over the west? All of this vision is now coming back over to you. AGG needs to step out. They've got to move into Valley Tie's position. Valley Tie's been kind of weakened specifically by Freaks, as you can see. It is going to be Heaven getting another knock, and it's just going to be Latte back up against the wall, not even in the zone. He should go down pretty soon, as I think Zest even has vision on the other side of this one. Heaven's going to pick that one up as well. So Freaks, the only team in the circle right now, but there is not a lot of cover to be had. You just got to fight your way through it, and Heaven is loving that idea.
Well, I'm telling you what, AGG, they might not have had a great Miramar, but they have turned things on here on Rondo and Tego, as they have 4 up, 7 kills, continuing to climb the leaderboard. Freaks doing the exact same. They've got everybody back on their feet. Petrichor Road down to just Ixlef and Ming on the south side of this road, and they should be able to survive a while here, because it looks like Freaks and AGG are just going to square off face to face.
Oh, and AGG manages to take down Ixlef, which could have been a small problem for Freak. So AGG shifting over there, realizing where the threat's going to be down to the south, trying to buy some more space off of it. It's going to be Zest trying to get the harassing onto Ming, but Ming at least manages to make it over. Shot's going to come out from Ming, though. He's trying to defend his last teammate that he still has to work around. Tycon's going to run back the rock. And now, can they get the angle? Ixlef is going to go down. Salute's going to be going after Zest, and it's getting more problematic by the second. Nade's going to be landing on top of him. And AGG, you've got to hit this shot. You've got to make this one happen. You are in some trouble, and Throwables just continuing to rain down.
And Freak's just sitting here smiling on it as they completely, I mean, Ming just destroys AGG. And it looks like Sapao should be able to get Tycon back on his feet here. If the grenades just not landing where they need to for Ming. Oh, that one does. Never mind.
So now we've got Human right there next to Ming. The rest of the squad already in control next to the road. They know that they've got the numbers advantage. 4 members up. Just going with the throwables.
Please.
Gonna hit it. Makes it look easy. Freaks fighting their way through every step of that circle. Gonna take control of the game and get the win.